Community schools are tuition-free public schools that focuses on adapting the individual needs of every student. As public schools, community schools are open to all students and operate with the same academic and financial accountability. However, they have the freedom to a flexible, innovative, and inclusive learning. A community school is both a place and a set of partnerships between the school and other community resources. Its integrated focus on academics, health and social services, youth and community development, and community engagement leads to improved students' learning, stronger families, and healthier communities. Children and families have an array of support from community partners right at their schools. Communities and schools leverage their shared physical and human assets to help kids succeed. Community schools contain a host of opportunities and support built in that gives students and parents all the tools they need to learn and grow. Most people think of schools as today's learning a single purpose, a binary analog system of delivery. Teachers teach and students learn.
Egalitarian, personality-based education that accommodates needs in a realistic way, seeking the best possible outcome in a helpful way without being excessive prejudgment, but giving informative and helpful advice about the student's natural path of development. Education involving cleverly designed psychological aptitude tests can be far more educationally rewarding and also has the benefit of showing more exactly what things are a personality match for the student and what types of genuine understanding the student has. Imagine a case where a student has great language skills but does not enjoy writing. Then it makes sense that the student should not be guided towards generating content for social media, but maybe towards something more behind the scenes or directly involving people. It might be impossible to access this kind of difference with a traditional aptitude test, but taking a test can provide a lot of mental grounding for the entire platform a human life is operating on. The advantage of personality tests is that they can distinguish between someone who is a straight arrow career person and someone who intends to make big creative contributions versus someone who needs to be micromanaged by a small company or someone who intends to occupy themselves with illegal activities which are not directly productive for society. Kinds of distinctions bear out in life and can define the early adult years when career formation is traditionally important. Standard aptitude tests do not give much feedback to students about what their future trajectory is, and such warnings could be highly useful for creating personality and continuity, which allows each student to develop into a whole person. Students do not have enough information to be honest with themselves about their future in the next 10 years. They will likely not have a clear idea of their ambitions in life, and the result will be a sense of internal fearfulness and confusion.
Education using skill trees, a micro-educational information infrastructure approach which rewards students for providing short, thought-out responses, developing existing information in their preferred way, and coming up with solutions to problems based on their perspective in the world and sense of desirable outcomes. At a very minimum, schools should have a knowledge structure in the form of a tersely stated, concatenated list, like expanding bullet points that allow student input on any topic of concern. The best statements on any type of topic would be selected as a primary entries for the catalog, allowing more esoteric students to dominate obscure topics, but allowing scientifically minded, research-type students to dominate commonly searched headings and headings that require scientific method. Additionally, certain links and methods would be attached to certain topics, giving a quick, easy immersion in full comprehension of the most basic activities in a field, like how to observe a natural environment in various ways, how to find artistic inspiration, how to write professionally, and how to care for others' health in more situations. Each approach would be somewhat immersive, appeal to the senses and intuition, and provide basic useful advice which is hard to forget and which has positive outcomes when used by a very large population without inspiring paranoia or excessive commitment to any single topic. The knowledge would expand continually, and occasionally special questions would come up about very unique content students generate, in which case a system of alternate choices could be arranged which would feed students results based on observations about the individual students' particular interests in educating themselves, such as recent topics most searched, and the types of contributions the students has made to the database. In some cases, real-world experiences would be way in above written content or social roles that students took in being productive for the school community. When all of this is taken into account, the knowledge database would have a subjective component with separate webs developed to serve certain almost independent student communities, each still joined to the other by the logical structure of the knowledge web.
At this point, you consider would be a considerable opportunity for social climbing because many times when a student has an idea about what to do or contribute, the result could be framed as a radical idea of how the new contribution fits within the knowledge web and what that means for the content and organization of the learning communities, and even the specific contribution which might bear on related students' learning experience and their future as developing human beings. There could also be some consumer components and some special design components, and it also be possible to connect this type of education with strategic use of inventions and other technologies to make the learning community function like a dynamic and practical society, one that has support from external communities and government, but which has its elaborative internal role in self-determining the ways the lives of the students works and in effect the best, most relevant information which they both enjoy, contribute to, and develop.
The services are maintain a strong connection to the community with connected community services that support students' physical and mental health, respond to competition with intention by providing a variety of options for students that fuel increased engagement and student success, enable high-quality options for a variety of learners, including early learners, extend the classroom beyond school walls, especially for middle and high school students, and take steps to transition into a competency or mastery-based system in which students progress based on mastery and have the option to combine a variety of learning experiences. Evaluation, advice, and intervention with regards to children's learning and development. Provision of support to children with special educational needs, including physical and/or mental disabilities, specific learning difficulties like dyslexia, dyspraxia, emotional and/or behavioral difficulties, communication difficulties like autism, visual and/or hearing impairment, giftedness, etc. Assessment and report writing concerning special educational provision like statementing, examination access arrangements. Liaising with other child support services within the department's psychosocial section and with agencies and organizations external to the department. Supervision of psychology assistants and psychology students. In-service and professional development training for school personnel and other professionals working with children.